Polls have closed for Taiwan's presidential and parliamentary elections. Vote counting is underway and the outcome is expected later this evening. And these are live visuals from Taiwan, and as we can see, the vote counting is taking place. It was a race between three contestants, and we can see people there counting the votes as the election comes to a close. Now, polls opened at 8 a.m. local time at nearly 18,000 locations and closed at 4 p.m. local time. In these pivotal polls, the ruling Democratic Progressive Party is seeking a third term. They have fielded Vice President Lai Ching-te as their contestant and his main opposition, Hui Yo-hee, from the KMT party. They have been campaigning for establishing ties with China. Now, he is widely viewed as a pro-China contender. Meanwhile, Ko Wen-je from the Taiwan People's Party is a new entrant in the race. His support base comes from young voters for his focus on domestic issues. He also wants to re-engage China, but insists that cannot come at the expense of protecting Taiwan's democracy and way of life. Now, the island's newly elected president will decide whether Taiwan sees a sovereign future or not. The polls will also shape future ties between Beijing and Washington. The concern does not end just here. Taiwan supplies over half the world's semiconductor chips. A conflict in the area could disrupt global trade and drive up prices. And for more on this, we were earlier joined by Dr. Srikant Kundapalli from New Delhi. He's a professor of China Studies at Jawaharlal Nehru University. Listen to what he had to say.
Oh, that is a big factor since 1996 elections, when the president post has been made for the public to vote. At that time, China launched missiles into the northeast of Taiwan and southwest of Taiwan to intimidate the electorate. Now, subsequently, they have learned some lessons on not directly interfering, but at the moment, they are trying to do influence operations by controlling the media coverage, by influencing the electorate, by indirect threats, not direct as we saw in 94, 95. And also in terms of the mobilization since last August, since 2022 August, when they launched a series of military exercises after the visit by the U.S. leader. So there is a huge trust by the PLA and as well as by the political establishment in China. Wang Huning, one of the fourth-ranking Politburo Standing Committee member, has been nominated to look after the Taiwan-related issues. He wrote a book on neo-authoritarianism and against the democracies. So you could see the configurations building up at the political level, military level, as well as in terms of propaganda and influence operations. Soon after Nancy Pelosi's visit in August 2022, the Government of India, Ministry of External Affairs, had cautioned about the increase in the military exercises and possible disruption that it may cause for the sea lanes of communications as well as for the global trade passing through Taiwan. India has a lot of trade in this region. Something like 45% of its trade passes through Taiwan Straits and South China Sea. And also there is increasing FDI, foreign direct investment linkages, in addition to people-to-people contacts. In any case of disruption in the Taiwan Straits with the PLA invasion scenarios, there would be consequences for the India rise in terms of trade, investments, people-to-people contacts, and other strategic interests in this region. And hence the MEA had cautioned about the possible invasion scenarios and suggested to ushering peace and stability And as a part of the Quad and Indo-Pacific developments in which India has been actively participating, this is one of the issues that they are discussing in terms of possible invasion scenarios and what should the other countries do in this regard. So there is a circumspect position that India had taken on the Taiwan Straits.